as numerically designated with Raman numerals. This is a sequel to Little Nightmares, obviously. To me, my best description of what this game is if you somehow orchestrated an orgy between The Forest, We Happy Few, Oddworld, and a fucking Rubik's Cube. Now, I love me some puzzle games, especially puzzle games with a spooky atmosphere. Games like the Resident Evil series have perfected the mix between making you shit your pants and needing you to figure out a way to use those spoiled pantaloons as part of a crank assembly to drop a basket on a weighted platform to close the gap at a bridge. Besides the gloomy atmosphere, though, Little Nightmares 2 seems to have a level of adorableness to it. With the tiny, overly large, hat-wearing, innocent-looking children whom you follow through the story, maybe it's just never fucking mind. I take that back at this moment. This game is a lot more of a let's get through this room first, then focus on the story after type of experience. And speaking of the storyline, I have no fucking clue. I literally just played through the game and I have not the slightest idea what it's about. If you look online, people will go on and on about the series, the characters, the nuances, the foreshadowing, and the storyline. Yet when playing through, with the exception of some behavior and events that happen more than once, there's really not much of a storyline at all. Some example of these recurring events are on several occasions you are overwhelmingly debilitated by televisions that play the same visuals. Once you approach the TV, you are prompted to essentially tune the TV until the visual becomes clearer. After the second or third time of clearing the visual, you actually fall into the TV and are transported to the location shown. A long corridor with only one door at its end is all you find. So you attempt to make it to the door, but it seems like you've decided to wear fucking cinder blocks for shoes, because you move like cold molasses. Each time you're transported, you make it a little bit closer to the door, but your friend, whose name is apparently Six, but they don't make it clear at all at any point of the game, at all, pulls you back to the TV just in time. There also seems to be an overarching theme of television's grasp on people. Through the entirety of the game, as you make your way through the city, which may or may not have a name, I don't fucking know because no one told me, you continuously find people completely entranced by their television sets, even becoming manic after you find a remote and are thus granted the ability to turn the TV off. These events come full circle when you finally see the transmission tower, presumably for the TV station. An overlooking eye that seems to possess complete control of all within its view. Where have I seen that before? Oh, and then there's this guy, this fedora rockin' slender man looking head ass. It would seem that he's in charge or has some capacity of leadership in the TV station. Then again though, these are assumptions, because I don't fucking know. Another thing you'll see through the entirety of the game is clothes, randomly strewn about all over the place. Especially fucking shoes. I can't tell you how many times through my playthrough that I just stumbled across piles of shoes. No use for them, no purpose that I find, just a regular old pay less, buy one, get one pops off at a random point in the game. Now just because you'll be confused, doesn't mean you'll have a bad time though. Not all confusion is bad confusion, of course. I love games that set a mysterious scene where you're left to put together the pieces on your own, and there are scenes all over this game that you just stumble across, that you're given no explanation, no backstory, you just see the aftermath. How did this family get here? Who positioned them this way if this wasn't how they died? Are they actually dead? A hospital waiting room with what appear to be patients just sitting still. Were they patients at one point? Were they placed here? Some guy feverishly attempting to catch sight of the screen on the other side of the door while a woman is completely glued to the one in front of her. How long have they been here? What's keeping them transfixed? What I'm getting at, of course, is that at no point exposition beats you over the head. Little Nightmares also seems to perfectly capture horror and suspense. You never feel powerful through any of your playthrough, so every encounter you have feels incredibly intense. This first chase you have in the game with the hunter legitimately shakes you up after the seemingly slow start you had before this. I practically launched solids out of my noose when I had to make my way past this gang of feral children. And obviously, trying to be stealthy while Doc fucking McStuffins tends to plastic patients had its degree of pucker factor as well. But this powerless feeling only makes the wins feel like that much more of a win. Getting away from goddamn Mrs. Nesbit was debatably one of the best moments of my fucking life. Besting someone in the game really feels like solving a problem. Or a puzzle. The puzzles in Little Nightmares are sure to titillate any fan of a brain bender. Whether it's recreating a chessboard, which definitely didn't take me longer than it should have, or finding the right teleportation doorway, which also definitely didn't take me 21 actual minutes to figure out, there are brain teasers all over this game that keep you on your feet. There's also a collection of hats around the game that you can equip at any time. But a cool hat a good game does not make. Holy fuck, I'm Davy Crockett! No, but seriously, this game is not perfect. For starters, this game is full of beginner's traps. I'm okay with being kept on my feet, but creating parts of a game that are riddled with cheap tricks borders on annoying. For instance, the only way to get past this broken bridge is to allow yourself to fall down at a specific spot where you'll land safely. After you land, then you can climb up on the other side, but the only way you'd see this is if you attempt to make the jump and see the platform to fall on your way down right before you cease to exist. Oh hey, I've only walked over 9,000 piles of leaves at this point. Might as well start smacking the ground randomly now to see if it's trapped. You think that raised plank is trapped, don't you? Well, fucking try again, because it ain't that one. I had to get yeeted into the wall to figure that one out. Oh hey, but in literally the next room, it's the raised plank. And that's just a few of the little gotcha moments that Little Nightmares has beyond the sometimes awkward platforming. You see, platforming games that we're used to are typically two-dimensional, like Mario. But being that we're living in the third dimension here, we begin to run into issues with depth and distance, making some of the platforming and movement difficult to judge, and just plain awkward. It's a small complaint, especially compared to the ending. The only semblance of a friend you've got in Little Nightmares is Six, if that is her real name. You've got each other's back through this entire adventure, and even though your communication is completely nonverbal, you begin to view her as a security blanket in some weird way. Once you finally make your way to the TV station after you take down Mr. Emotionless TV Executive Man, you make the rescue attempt for Six after she's taken. She looks a little different. Ooh, did you do something with your arms there? Really digging the having more than one elbow per arm thing. You eventually learn that her weakness is the music box that she keeps so close to her. You destroy the music box, restoring her to her tiny one elbow per arm having self, but now it's time for you two to hightail it out of the building. Just as the exit becomes visible, and the beacon of light seems to have shown you the way out, how does Six treat you? She drops you like one of those fucking wine moms gets rid of their kids at daycare for some me time. You land covered in a cavern of anatomy. You get up and frantically attempt to get away and finally see a spot to climb. Maybe you can get back up and make your escape. You climb to the top of the mound, or whatever the fuck this shit is, and you mount the chair. Only to sit your ass down, teleport somewhere else, and wait to get old through a series of shadowed age progression shots. And who the fuck do you think you grow up to be? The fucking bad guy. And where the fuck do you think you teleported? Right behind the door you've been running to every damn time you went through the TV. Fucking goddamn son of a... Nope. I'm not mad. I'm fine. I'm not saying it's a bad game, and it's really not. And it's definitely worth a playthrough. But with a game this good, an ending like that is a real bluff.